afternoon, and let me say how delighted I am to be a part of this wonderful summit, the Impact AI Summit that India is launching and hosting for the first time, which I think heralds a big signal that we are part of the AI journey that the world is on. I've basically taken off from where the last panel talked about sovereignty, and I thought I should talk about why India must build biotech sovereignty that is embedded in AI. And let me start with this first slide that basically says that if the 20th century was defined by the internet and the early 21st century by digital sovereignty, which was all about data being the new oil and the new fuel, the coming decades, I believe, will be shaped by biotech sovereignty that is embedded in AI. I believe that nations that command the convergence of biology and AI, or what I like to call the convergence of biological intelligence and artificial intelligence, will define the future of healthcare, food security, education, biomanufacturing, sustainability, biosecurity, and much more. For India, this is not merely a cutting edge opportunity. It is a strategic and geopolitical imperative. Now, let me really touch upon what I mean by biological intelligence. Living systems are the original intelligent machines. And why do I say this? Because biological intelligence has evolved and has been built over 3.8 billion years. It is different in the way it learns, memorizes, builds, and processes information from multimodal signals and circuits. Cells sense, they compute, and they respond through intricate signaling networks. They also then interface with gene regulation and genes regulatory circuits and immune memory. These systems operate within inbuilt biological guardrails, which focus on feedback loops and control mechanisms that maintain what we refer to as homeostasis or health equilibrium. Disease arises when these guardrails fail. So, when we talk about ethics, when we talk about governance, living systems have an inbuilt sense of guardrails and governance, which is about keeping you healthy, which is about homeostasis, which is a wonderful way of making sure that it compensates, it repairs, and makes sure that you can still live in a as healthy a way as possible. And to illustrate this, let's look at the way our immune system responds to pathogens. The immune system responds through immunological ammunition like cytokines, antibodies, and killer T cells. It also memorizes the identity of the pathogen in memory T cells and B cells, and years later, when the pathogen reinvades, the memory cells rapidly retrieve this information and translate it into instant action. This is the marvels of biology in the way it receives information, processes information, stores information, retrieves information, and acts. And the inference of all this information is done at speed and with energy efficiency that we can't even imagine. We don't need those gigawatts of data centers. We have distributed data centers that take sips of energy when it needs to use it. Our brain which is the biggest supercomputer known to man, does this so efficiently that we need to understand how biology works. Another great thought provoking example of biological intelligence is the migration of the Arctic tern. This little bird, that is the size of a tennis ball, takes undertakes a 70,000-kilometer journey between the Arctic, the Antarctic, and back with no prior knowledge, with no older bird to guide it. And yet it does it with astonishing precision and speed. How does it do it? This is about navigational intelligence embedded in its DNA. AI, by contrast, learns from data to optimize decisions at machine scale. So, therefore, the true inflection point lies at their intersection. AI powered biology, from protein structure prediction and generative drug design to digital twins of cells and organs. AI is compressing discovery timelines and reducing development risk. And therefore, I believe that the next frontier is even more profound: the reprogramming of cells themselves to restore biological balance. But for this, we need to understand how biological intelligence operates. Imagine reprogramming cancer cells into non malignant cells. Imagine repairing bone tissue that is damaged and irreparable. Biological intelligence is built on an intricate network of cell signaling, gene regulation, and immune memory that works symbiotically, as I mentioned, to maintain homeostasis. Now, if we now come to what I've just spoken about, which is reprogramming and re engineering, we are moving from static one size fits all drugs to programmable biology, which is the new frontier. We need to learn how biology learns, stores data, retrieves, and processes data in such an agile and energy efficient way. Once we understand the computational models of living systems, we can use AI to accelerate with predictive precision the most advanced present day therapies. Today, we are all excited about personalized CAR T therapies that basically eliminate tumors with precision, autoimmune disease interventions that recalibrate immune tolerance rather than broadly suppressing immunity. And then the most exciting part of longevity and health span. These are areas where we must understand how senescence is modulated, metabolic pathways of aging are created, and cellular repair mechanisms to delay biological aging and restore tissue resilience happens. If we understand all this, as the last speaker said, we may be able to live for another 50 years and more. Crucially, these approaches seek not to overpower biology but to reinforce its inbuilt guardrails or regulatory circuits which focus on repair, feedback control, and immune surveillance. AI can map these regulatory circuits at scale, enabling targeted interventions that preserve homeostasis. That is the excitement of new science led by AI, new biology led by AI. This represents a paradigm shift from managing disease to re engineering biological systems to sustain equilibrium. So, India's future health security will depend on how optimally we combine the code of life and the code of intelligence. If foundational AI models for drug discovery, genomics, cellular engineering, and clinical decision making are owned offshore, India risks strategic dependence in the most critical domain of national resilience, which is human health. Biotech sovereignty embedded in AI must therefore mean sovereign control over trusted biological data, indigenous AI models, computing infrastructure, and translational platforms from discovery and development to manufacturing and delivery. This is essential not only for economic competitiveness, but also for preparedness against pandemics, antimicrobial resistance, and emerging new biothreats. Now, I really believe this is a very important aspect of what AI can do for biotech and the economy. AI alone will not create economic opportunities, but the delivery of AI through in our field through manufacturing and products will do that. India's global role must evolve from being the pharmacy of the world to becoming the biotech platform of the world, a nation that offers AI native discovery engines, programmable therapy platforms, and scalable biomanufacturing as global public goods. And this requires embedding AI across the biotech value chain. When it comes to discovery, we need to develop foundation models for proteins, RNA, cellular circuits, and systems biology. When it comes to development, I think there are huge opportunities to develop in silico trials, digital twins, and AI driven trial design to really de risk the success of pipelines and probability of success. When it comes to manufacturing, smart biomanufacturing using AI for yield optimization and, most importantly, quality by design is going to be a great opportunity for all of us. Now, when it comes to regulation, it has to be a science first approach, tech enabled regulatory pathways, integrating real world evidence through AI validation. I think that's going to be a huge opportunity which we must do right now. What is important is for regulations to keep up with technology. If we compress timelines of discovery and development to a fraction of what it happens today, and if regulatory speed does not keep up with it, then we miss out on a huge lost opportunity. So, working in tandem, working in synchronization is the need of the hour. This transformation cannot be driven by industry alone. It demands a triple helix of government, academia, and industry. Government must invest in sovereign AI bio infrastructure, trusted data architectures, regulatory sandboxes, and mission mode programs in cell and gene therapy, immuno-oncology, and longevity science. Academia must mainstream computational biology, neurosymbolic AI, and AI first life sciences education to build a new cadre of translational scientists. Industry must co create shared platforms, translational pipelines, and globally benchmarked biomanufacturing clusters that convert science into scale. Capital markets must also evolve to support long cycle, high risk biotech innovation that is so rampant in startups in our country. Deep science requires patient capital, but the societal and economic returns from reduced disease burden to global platform leadership are exponential. Now, coming to ethics, trust, and global leadership. Sovereignty is not isolation. India must build ethical, transparent, energy efficient, and bias aware AI systems for biology that are globally interoperable yet rooted in public interest. And I think this is the unique model India can create. by embedding principles of equity, affordability, and access into AI-driven, yeah, AI-driven biotech, India can offer the world a new model of innovation, combining technological leadership with social purpose. For India, biotech sovereignty embedded in AI is not a sectoral ambition. It is a foundation of health security, strategic autonomy, and economic resilience. Those who master the language of life, augmented by the language of machines, will shape the future of humanity. India has the science, the AI, and life sciences talent, the scale, and the values to lead, provided it builds the sovereign platforms of tomorrow today. Thank you.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.